male, damare, kananyamare.
Me and Whitney Houston sat up and talked so much shit about Osama bin Laden, you just wouldn't believe it. Whitney called him Dracula. And she used to make me laugh so much because she could talk so ghetto. And she said, no, Kola, you lying girl. His beard stank. And, you know, she used to always ask me that. His beard stank because it did. It really did. I really loved Whitney Houston. I never expected in my life that I would get to meet her. But in 2004, someone contacted me from either the State Department or Homeland Security saying that Whitney Houston wants answers about Osama bin Laden, and she wants them from his mistress.
Mistress of Osama bin Laden is sharing her pillow talk.
You've had an astounding life. I want to first ask you, when you met...
Her name is Kola Boof. Kola Boof. Kola Boof.
After being elected. Our next guest is a poet, author, and activist. Yes, the former mistress of Osama bin Laden. Calling him a billionaire gangbanger, Kola Boof was kept under lock and key by bin Laden until he was, quote, tired of her and met another woman, and she was able to escape to the West. Now in America, Kola still fears for her life. Her home country of Sudan has issued a fatwa, an edict for her death, and bin Laden told her he'd like to kill her himself. She recently told her story to Black Book magazine, and Kola joins us now from an undisclosed location to talk about one of the most wanted terrorists in the world. Kola, thank you very much for being here. You've had an astounding life.
And let me just bring you some breaking news that's reaching us, and that is Whitney Houston, the singer, has died. We're getting reports now from her publicist, Kristen Foster, has confirmed that the singer has died. The cause...
I'm not a professional singer. I'm a writer and a television writer. And this is the first episode of my new web blog. And as you can see, it's devoted to Whitney Houston. I wasn't really her friend, but I'm someone who knew her, who loved her. I met her 2 times, in 2004 and 2010. We had some extremely interesting conversations. To me, the image of Whitney Houston has been treated so differently than a white artist in America who perhaps died of drugs or had a drug problem would be treated. Whitney has been made into like a laughingstock, and she's really the queen of music, of all music. She's not my favorite singer, but she was, at the time that she was singing, in my opinion, the best vocalist in the world. Better than Aretha Franklin, better than Barbra Streisand, when she was at her optimum. This show I'm going to talk about Whitney and what it was like to meet her and get to know her and just express so much how much I really love her. And like I said, I'm not a professional singer, but where I come from, my countries, Egypt and Sudan, we sing when people die and we express how we really feel. So, welcome to my blog, welcome to my new video blog, and welcome to my home. Boy, I'm crying so much that we just said fuck the makeup, you know, because it's just impossible to keep it on. And see, we keep cutting between breaks and I'm just crying so much. We have a 50-cent budget. I mean, no budget. And so I'm still happy to talk to you though, because so much gets misunderstood on Twitter and Facebook. I'm going to answer 2 letters before we get back to talking about Whitney. The first letter was, Dear Kola, I'm so happy that you're married now. I'm married for a second time, and everybody wants to see the ring. So I think that we've shown you, I don't know if you can see it, but it's very, very beautiful. And I'm very, very happy. The other question was, oh no, that's the same question, was, what is it like being married to a Jewish man? And being married to a Jewish man, it's, they make you light candles on Friday and they fuck you hard. And he's really, really great, Jason. It's really the same as when I was married to a black man. It feels pretty much the same, except every Wednesday I make 3 loaves of challah bread, which I have just become so addicted to challah bread, and that's why I'm worried about, you know, getting too fat, because you know I'm a diabetic, I have to stay a certain size. So it's wonderful being married to Jason Applebaum, who is just the sweetest, sweetest guy, who's very smart and just very different from me. The letter number 2 actually was asking me, when are you going to have a new book out? She wrote that The Sexy Part of the Bible is the best book I've read in over a decade. And it really changed my life. It made me so proud. And I read it over and over again. It never bores me. So I'm actually writing a fantastic new book called I Am My Own Daughter. And Johnny Temple and Ibrahim Ahmad, who are the two men who are responsible for making it possible for my books to be out there for you to read. They can't wait for me to turn it in, and it's a really good book, and I just want to make sure before I turn it in that I really have faith in it, because, you know, I write very different books from other people on purpose. I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to write the same thing. And so I write books that are very different on purpose. And I Am My Own Daughter is just a great, great novel that will really surprise you. The story is nothing what you're thinking, whatever you're thinking. And hopefully Akashic Books will have that out soon. I'm really working on trying to get it turned into Johnny and Ibrahim, and then we have to go through the most arduous editing things, because I'm just so different from everyone, and I'm so new, and I just like to write a whole different way. And so that's what's going on. It's not a coincidence that I'm having a cup of tea. The first time I met Whitney Houston was in 2004. I believe she was with a man named Ulysses. And the first thing that we talked about was the fact that we both have hoarse voices. We're always hoarse. We always sound like we're hoarse. And so that day we sounded so much alike. For her to be Black American and for me to be African, although I'm adopted and raised by Black Americans. And it was just really, really unbelievable to meet her. I can't express to you how I felt. She wasn't so concerned as much about Osama bin Laden wanting her or being interested in her or killing Bobby as much as she was worried about me, because people in her family had read my autobiography, and they knew how brutally Osama had treated me. Thank God she already knew that I never loved Osama. I didn't like him, contrary to what people just automatically assume. You know, when I discuss Osama, or Sami as I knew him, what I was told to call him, people think, oh, she loved him, you know, wanted him, you know, was happy with him. It was nothing like that. The way that I discuss him is intelligently, as a real person. I'm unable to discuss him as a cartoon figure because I actually knew the real him. And he was terribly abusive. Every evil thing that you can think of is probably true, but at the same time, he was, you know, just wrote some of the most beautiful poetry that I've ever read. He was a genius. He's the smartest man I've ever known. He was violent. He was, you know, but very sensitive. For instance, I watched him order someone in Ethiopia to be killed. And he cried, and several times when he would order people to be killed, he would cry. He never yelled. He never raised his voice. He was, you know, the most despicable things that he could say. He was very sensitive in how he talked. But no, I'd never liked him. I didn't want to be with him. I didn't love him. It wasn't a normal relationship. It was a situation where I really was against my will. I had no choice to be there, and I made the best of it because I was determined to survive. And later on, as I told Whitney, I didn't want to end up like Sally Hemings. You know, I didn't want, you know, Sally Hemings had her first baby by President Thomas Jefferson when she was 12. But the movies and things that they make depict it as some kind of a love story. You know, like, oh, she went to Paris with him and she was so in love, as though it started as an adult. No, he was fucking her when she was 11 years old and probably younger. And that's what we need to remember about Sally Hemings. So I realized that later down the line, movies and things and stories would depict me as being in love with him. So that is why I wrote my autobiography, Diary of a Lost Girl. That's why I told my story of abuse and everything that I went through with him. But I also have to be honest and mention the things about him that, because he could have been a model person. I mean, he was a genius. He had enormous God. Osama and I used to watch The Bodyguard. He would make me watch that movie over and over again. He was just so infatuated with Whitney Houston. And in my autobiography, I talk about other women, not just Whitney, but in my autobiography, I talked about the same fascination that he had for Iman, the supermodel, and for Julia Roberts, the movie actress. And he really had a fixation on those three women, but much more Whitney, more than anybody. And when I met Whitney, she was not drunk. She wasn't high. I think she smoked 1 or 2 cigarettes, but she seemed extraordinarily like a little girl to me. I mean, there was a tough exterior, but deep inside there was just, you know, she was like a child. There was really a child there. I think that she was dazed. You know what I mean? She came off as someone who life had dealt her things that she just didn't expect to be such a huge star. It was very, very difficult for her, what she had to put up with the fame. People not understanding. I think that there were parts of Whitney that she wasn't allowed to explore about herself. And I felt just from meeting her that, you know, the people who were managing her or who were her people around her were not, you know, I feel like maybe they were leeching off her or living off her, and so they didn't want to confront her or challenge her. But I just felt, you know, this will make me very unpopular, but I felt that she was unloved. You know, it was just a feeling of someone who is unloved, and they know it, and who felt. The last time I saw Whitney was at the club, and I tweeted about it that night. It was this woman, a sharmuta, which is Arabic for bitch, came up to Whitney and, you know, was really trying to start trouble. And she was a friend of that other person, Ray J, who was Whitney's friend. And his sister is the beautiful singer, Brandy. But it was this white woman who, you know, just was angry that all the attention was suddenly on Whitney Houston, who had just come in the club, and not her. And I believe, I mean, she acted like she had a thing for Ray J and needed his attention and needed him to be into her, and he really wasn't. He was into Whitney. And so she instigated some shit with Whitney. And Whitney, frankly, seemed like she was going to beat her up. And I tweeted about it. But Whitney had been pushed. You know, I had watched it simmer. She didn't want anything like that. She was there to have a good time. And she was just being fucked with, really. And this no talent, you know, X-Files or something, Young people today really don't understand what a superstar, how big Whitney Houston was, or how big Madonna was, how huge, you know, bigger than Whitney or Madonna really were Diana Ross and Barbra Streisand. People don't remember, who are the younger generation now, how huge of a star these people were. But Whitney was really the first of her kind as far as that type of singing, because it wasn't just gospel, church, soul type singing like we had from Gladys Knight. She had perfected what I think Donna Summer, rest in peace Donna, who also I idolized and loved Donna Summer, one of the greatest songwriters of all time. But Whitney had sort of eclipsed and, you know, gone further with the melisma, I guess they call it, that style of singing. No one did that before Whitney Houston. I mean, check the record dates. Mariah Carey, Toni Braxton, all of these Christina Aguilera, all of these people who are good singers, because I really like Mariah Carey. I have all of Mariah Carey's albums and stuff, but the truth is she can't hold a candle to Whitney Houston when Whitney was in her heyday. And all of these new girls that came after Whitney, none of them, you know, can hold a candle to her, and they shouldn't be given the credit for starting what Whitney started, which was a revolution. She truly is the queen of music. I don't just call her that just, you know, out of sentimentality. She earned that, and she set a precedent that a lot of people are trying to forget in the music business. She was really, truly the hottest chick in the game. Beyonce and all these new girls, they're nothing. These girls are nothing compared to real raw talent of people like Whitney Houston and even Madonna, who at that time was my favorite. When she first came out, I was like the biggest Madonna fan in the world. Janet Jackson. Janet was not a good singer, but Janet Jackson and Jody Watley were outstanding phenomenons. They really revolutionized dance music, and people don't give them the credit. And of course there is Cher. Cher from Sonny and Cher was always one of my favorites and the biggest stars. So I loved all those stars, and really Whitney is not given credit today for how fabulous and fantastic she was. People keep insisting that my novel, Virgins in the Beehive, is about Whitney Houston, and that's not true. I mean, to some degree, she's one of the artists who inspired me to write that book, but so did Courtney Love, and Janis Joplin, and Billie Holiday, and Natalie Cole, and so many others who had struggled with drug addiction. It wasn't just Whitney Houston. But now that the book was published several years before Whitney died, and because the character in the book, Genesette, almost drowns 3 times, and one time she almost drowns in the bathtub, people were saying, oh my God, Kola, you're psychic. How did you know that? And I didn't know, of course, and I'm not psychic. It's just a coincidence that the character in my book almost drowns in the bathtub several times, and then years later Whitney Houston actually, you know, died that way. It wasn't something I could control. I mean, that's just the way that the universe made everything. I want to thank you for watching the first episode of my video blog. I want to thank Vivica Fox, yes, the gorgeous, royal, beautiful actress Vivica Fox, for giving me some wigs, complimentary, and this is one of the Vivica Fox wigs. It's a mess because of the hot lights, and I've been crying so much, and I'm so physical, and so much has been going on, so the wig is just a mess. Forgive me, Vivica, for not being the best model, but I want to thank Vivica Fox for the wig. I also want to say, on each episode, I'm going to have a way that I end the show. You never hear me talk about the movies that I made back in the 90s. I made over 40 Arabic films in North Africa. And there's a famous line, though, from one of my films, a line that I made famous. And Muammar Gaddafi used to make me say the line when I worked for him. In 1996, writing the Green Book in White Bride. And the line is, "Me love you long time." And so that line has become really famous. It's from my movie Al Sitar. And I love all of you who support me and care about me. And that is what is going to be my ending line for the show. Me love you long time.